So, whenever this man takes to the stage, I am there, even when I'm hosting, even when it's my event, I am there, pen and pad in hand. Have you all got notebooks and pens in front of you? Because I absolutely promise you, you're going to need them. For anybody that is in business, and I think we established yesterday that most of us, in fact all of us are, has anyone had any problems with things like cash flow? The silence is fibbing. Because I know, even though my business does incredibly well, there are cash flow issues sometimes. And sometimes, does that ever instill a little bit of panic in anyone? You start thinking, like, I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage, or if you've got team, I'm not going to be able to look after my team. And sometimes when you're trying to hustle, when you're in that frame of mind, it makes things very, very difficult. And I found myself in that position, actually this time last year, where the business was doing brilliant, was selling out and all of that sort of stuff. But when you're in the business of events, you're often dealing with suppliers and you're waiting to pay people, right? You're waiting for people to pay you so that you can pay people and. Anyone have that issue? Yeah, it's true. It's one of the realities of being in business. You've got to really be able to hold your mettle. And so I was having a massive panic last year. I didn't know how I was going to get everybody paid, how I was going to pay my suppliers. And the man that I call when that time happens is more often than not Matt Elwell. And I've called Matt and I said, Matt, look, I'm in a little bit of a pickle. I didn't ask him for a loan. I'm in a little bit of a pickle. This is the situation that I found myself in. What do you think that I can do? And this man patiently talked me through just a few things, very simple things actually. Talked to me through a few things that from that position of panic, he was able to talk me down from the ceiling, give me some real incredible tools. I went out that week, I needed to make £25,000. And within the week, I was able to make that £25,000. It's incredible the things that this man teaches. I was able to get myself out of that pickle, and not just that, relax enough, because you make more money when you're in a relaxed state, right? If you're panicking, it's very hard when you're coming from the energy of desperacy to come from this energy of softness, to come from this energy of serving. And to talk to you more about that this morning, and please do have your pen and paper handy, have your notebooks handy, because you are going to want to take some notes, is one of A, the kindest men I've ever met in my life, and two, one of the most incredible sales coaches and trainers in the entire world. Please welcome to the stage my friend, Matthew Elwell, everyone.
Thank you. Did she mean any of that? You're amazing. I feel like you meant everything you just said. Okay. What an amazing morning to be alive. How are we doing, everybody? Expert Empires Day 2. Give me some noise. I'm actually hard of hearing, so you'll have to do it louder than that. Nothing. Nice to see you all anyway. So, I've got 30 minutes to knock your socks off. Has anybody got socks on? By the way, I passed the I don't look like a knobhead test this morning with my 3 girls, my wife and 2 kids. Like, yesterday I had a lumberjack shirt on. The kids are like, no, makes you look tubby. I'm like, I am. So, please, shut your laptops. You don't need laptops. Turn your computer phones off. And in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to give you some things you can do today to make some more sales. Show me an elbow if that makes you feel fairly happy. Amazing. This is the sign of the hedgehog. Ready? Come on, you lot. Sign of the hedgehog. We'll talk about it. One more. Yes. We'll talk about hedgehogs later. Okay? So, focus. And I know there was loads of amazing information yesterday. If I give one person one thing in this room that you can do, I'm a happy man. So, the whole point of my presentation is about confidence. Wave at me and nod your head if you'd like to increase your confidence. Weirdos. So look, when you enter into a sales conversation with another human being or a group of people that actually have shown some kind of interest in working with you, how you feel inside really matters. And I had a look recently at what confidence actually means. So according to the Cambridge Dictionary, it means that. See the bit in yellow? That's the bit that matters. It's a feeling, think about it, a feeling inside your body. We're amazing things, human beings. It's a feeling of trust in someone or something. So I'm going to make sure that today you're the someone. Look, you've got to be able to rely on yourself in the moment. So when another human being's got questions for you, how you answer, how you show up, it's going to create in them feelings. So it's important that you can trust yourself. It means you've got some skills and that you've got something to fall back on, a framework. So, why am I qualified to teach this? I'm not. Great to see you all. You need to listen to Russell Brunson. By the way, I met him yesterday. What an amazing human being. Such a humble man. It's like, wow. So anyway, the reason why I can teach you this is my first sales job 11 stone ago. I don't know what stones are in American, but it's a lot of kgs. Was knocking on doors selling ladies' sanitary items in Birmingham. And I'll be honest with you, I was shit. I didn't know much about ladies' sanitary wear. Still don't. Got 3 girls. Let's leave it. And the only bit of advice and training I got was go and knock on 100 doors a day and do your best. I was like, brilliant. So I was shit and failed. I had no system, no process, no skills. But on the outskirts, I was like, hey, good morning. How are you? How cheesy is that? Like on the outskirts, I was like, gift of the gab, all that amazing stuff. Inside, I was dying. Absolutely dying. Show me 2 elbows if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, most of you. Cool. So after that, I was shit at that. I then went into a sales job where you had to cold call. By the way, 5 times in my life, I've cold called somebody I know. I started this company by cold calling my sister. Could you cold call your sister? So if anybody tells you cold calling is dead, ask them how many cold calls they make. And if it's not, tell them to... Cold calling does work as long as you cold call all the people you know rather than cold call all the people you don't know. It's worked for me. So look, I was crap at this as well. And then eventually I became an entrepreneur at the age of 22. And I used to sell tiles and bathrooms with my dad and my brother. A bit chaotic, right? Now at this stage, although I had some success in sales, I was kind of winging it. All the like, energy on the outside. Let me explain why you should buy from me, all that kind of stuff. And I started to learn that actually, if you want to be great at sales, you have to stop explaining, right? And if you're explaining, you're losing. So the skill to sales is actually to commit to finding out what people actually need and want. So a commitment to understanding, write that down if you want. Commit to understanding is what great salespeople do. It's not your job to try and get someone to buy from you. Like if you're trying to get someone to buy, you're doing it all wrong, okay? So I learned that in this showroom. Now, I had been in the tile and bathroom showroom, which I've got to tell you now I knew nothing about. My dad loves a fag. Fucking hell, loves a swear. He was like the engineer. He was great with his hands. He was the tiler. My brother, on the other hand, was like good salesperson, visionary. Hey, good morning, how you doing? Really possible. Everything was positive. I was kind of somewhere in the middle, and I wanted to prove myself to people. Now, by the way, if you ever get into a sales conversation and you're trying to prove yourself, stop it! They're not buying you. You're not the business. They're buying the result that they get at the end once you've delivered your product or service. If you didn't know that, write it down. You want me to say it again? I can't remember what I said. Let's move on. So, anyway, I think it was good. So, anyway, what happened to me was my very first sale opportunity came, and the guy looked like this, Boise. And actually, this guy taught me a really, really amazing lesson. So he did everything to me, the salesperson that was winging it. Come this way, sir. How are things at your end? Family all right? Come this way. Let me explain what tiles people like you need. Well, anyway, this guy walked all over me. He ripped me to shreds. He was a hard negotiator. He got me to say yes to everything. Raise your hand if you're a people pleaser. People pleasers, higher. Oh, just 2 of us. Brilliant. I've just lost the audience. How to lose the audience in one question. Brilliant. I'll just double check you're all in the room. Just raise both hands and kick a leg if you'd like to make more sales and it's making sense. Go on. I've got a bad glute. Keep going. Keep them up for a bit. So, where was I? So this guy, right, negotiate. He could tell I'm weak. He senses I'm weak, right? And the old man said, how'd you get on with that bloke? I said, fine. He's definitely going to place an order. Raise your hand if you've ever lied to anyone about getting a sale. Right? Oh, yeah, I didn't want to deposition myself, Dad. He's going to be back in next week. When's he fucking coming back in? Don't know. Don't leave it to me. And our kid's going, would you like me to take over? No! I could do it myself. Not bad. I'll show you how to do it. Anyway, over the next few weeks, the guy screwed me. I delivered the tiles on my own for free. Long story short, it didn't pay. When it didn't pay, I got no invoice. I got nothing in writing. Like little old mate. Tiles, like, he didn't even know who I was. So, do you know what? When I analysed, my dad and my brother actually helped me out, actually. I was like, can you help me? And we sorted it. It didn't go well. But this is what was going on inside. Inside, my ego wanted to be right. And I was feeling really quite uncomfortable about the whole thing. I was winging it. Write on your pad right now, never wing it. And then show me a wing if you've ever winged it. You wingers. Weird. You've all got wonderful wings this morning. I feel like an owl that's injured this morning. Like one wing's working. So anyway, look, if somebody wants to buy off you, you're not meant to feel these things inside. Like, you're not meant to feel like this. You're just not. And if you ever enter into a conversation with somebody and you feel uncomfortable inside, well, one, it needs to stop quickly. Like, how do you think you're going to get on if you feel like that inside? Like, this is all bad shit. We want some good shit. Can you have good shit? Can you have good shit? Good shit. Say good shit. That was shit. Good shit. So, remember, you create how you feel inside. So because I was winging it and blagging it, on the outside I was like amazing, but inside I was dying. And that's what I actually felt inside. I was like, ah, there's another customer! Shit! Get out of here fast! Raise your hand if you've ever gone to make a sales call and you had a little voice in your head saying, you hope they don't answer. Like, how do you think you're going to get on if your mind is broken that much? So, look, I made a decision at the age of 22. I'd already got good sales skills. I was a good communicator. Jeff Maskers helped me realise that actually my genius is to be able to connect with people quickly. And that is something I needed to lean into. What I didn't have was a process. So, my uncle, Peter Wintermore, quoted something which I'm about to share. He passed away. He was a very spiritual man, amazing human being. And he left me with many gifts. This is the main gift. Just before he passed, he had a really bad brain cancer. And he was South African. And my nickname is Beer, which is short for bear in Afrikaans, apparently. And he said, Beer. He said, human beings need hope to cope. I said, stop. Let me write that down. So write this down. Humans need hope to cope. Hope to cope. So if you're a business owner and you're responsible for bringing revenue into your business, and the thought of a sales conversation with you or your team makes you feel slightly uncomfortable, today is the day where you have to change. Because the good news is, when you create more confidence from inside of your body, your central nervous system feels comfortable. You can operate from a place of service, soft spiritual energy and sharp skills. Then what happens is, the whole experience becomes different for all parties. And that's what we're trying to create. We're looking to create an environment and an experience for a buyer where they can make an informed decision or not. Or not. So you're not meant to sell something to somebody every time. If you're trying to get someone to sell every time, you're doing it wrong, and it's tiring. It's really tiring. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So here's the hope. It's called a process. Like, never change you. Like, I teach individuals that have to sell to not be emotional when you sell, but to be yourself. So I don't want emotional salespeople. It doesn't work. I want salespeople who've got skills, high skill, high consciousness, great communication skills, that operate inside a process that enables them to be natural. Write the word natural down and underline it 6 times, at least, maybe 7. 7! Why did I just do that? Does anybody know? So what I did in my showroom is I said to my dad and my brother, right, listen, that's never going to happen to me again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my shit together, I'm going to get organised, and I make sure the next time somebody walks into my tile and bathroom showroom, the little bell used to ping, I'd have a starting point and understand exactly what my role is at the beginning. And by the way, when you meet someone for the first time, if you don't know my philosophy, I'm going to share it with you now. I hope you love it. If you do, great. If you don't, great. Here's the skill. When you meet someone for the first time, ask them this question. What result would you need to get at the end for this to be the greatest investment you've ever made in your business. That's how you sell. Find that out first. So go straight to the end. It's called open with a close. Start with the end in mind. Understand the vision that they would need to get the result. And if you can turn that vision into a reality through your service, not a bespoke offer, here's the service, then continue. And if you can't, stop! And either send them to another stakeholder or understand them better. Did that make sense? Brilliant, one of you. Did that make sense? Yes. So start with the end in mind. I'll say it again. Like, I know it's day 2, but come on, you lot. What I want you to do is just move your arms like this as quick as you can. Right, and see if you can shuffle in your seat left and right 6 times like a bumblebee. Study bumblebees if you want to learn things. They've got it all covered. Right, so have a process. Know what you're meant to do at each point. And here's the skill. Once you've got a process, like just keep it simple to start with and then aim big, start small. Just create little logical next steps at the end of the process for both parties to take if it feels natural and right. And if it doesn't, don't. That's how it works. Simple. So, like, some people think that to close, you've got to get money. That's not true. The skill is to close the logical next step until the only logical next step is for them to exchange the contract and get the result and exchange money and time and energy with you. That's the skill to having a process. So when I learned that, my life changed. And from that day on, listen, we made plenty of mistakes, but the intention was for us to be easy to buy from. Now, we were a small family business, right? And we made sure that when a human being came in, whether it was Dad, me, Uncle John, or one of the staff, we knew which part of the journey they were on, to the best of our ability. And then you act accordingly. And at the end of that interaction, all you have to agree is, what's next? Write this down if you want to. You ready? You have to write really quickly. Ready? Never, ever, ever. Come on. Never, ever, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Keep writing. Come on. Ever, ever, ever. Ever, 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 ever. Write ever as many times as you can. Copy and paste and press send. Right? On your computer with the phone on it. I've got arm ache here. Pins and needles. Never, ever, 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 ever leave it where nobody knows what happens next at the end. And that's what you have the process for. You know, you meet like a best mate, you haven't seen them for 10 years. I met a great friend of mine, Zane Kandarian. I was recording the audio version of my second book. It's called Cold to Sold. Round of applause. They say, never ask people for a round of applause. Give us a round of applause. Who are they? Fuck them. Anyway, I'm not allowed to swear, Jeff Mass in the room. So, anyway, does anybody know where I am? Yes, so I met Zane Kandarian. Great night. At the end of it, we gave each other a cuddle and agreed when we're going to see each other again. You do it with your mates. Why wouldn't you do it in business? So I'm going to give you 5 strategies right now to increase your confidence. Say yes 3 times if you're up for it. Yes. Just a bit louder because I'm deaf. Yes. Boom. So number 1 is reaffirm your deep drivers. Are you ready for some deep work? Yes. Amazing. When you woke up this morning, although you're at Expert Empires Day 2, when you normally wake up, what is your strongest reason for doing what you do? Write it on your pad. Number 1 reason why you chose to be a nutter entrepreneur, business owner. Why would we do it to ourselves? What's the matter with us? Write it down on your pad. Shout a couple out. Money. How much money and by when? See, she can't answer. She's never going to get there. By the way, you have to know how much money, cleared funds in your bank account at the end of each year you want so that you know you can go, yes! I made it! I did it! Come on! Woo! Like, if you don't have that once in a while, because it's hard work, isn't it? Next question. What is it really? Really? How will I know you've done it? Amazing. How will you measure it? So you've got to do this work because when you are attached to purpose, you behave on purpose. You're not flaky. Like when somebody moves towards you in the first place, if you're really attached to the strong reasons why you do it, you'll push through, you'll use your skills, you'll find out the truth. Because we don't tell salespeople the truth. Raise your hand if you've ever lied to a salesperson. You bunch of lying. Yeah, we lie to each other. Raise your hand if you ever lied to yourself. I've been telling myself that Snickers bars are not bad for your health for 20 years because they've got nuts in them. Here's the reason why I do it, right? If you're an entrepreneur, I made this mistake for 16 years until I met Jeff Mask, right? And the mistake was this. I used to think that my life was defined by my performance at work. It's not! You can have a bad day at work and you've still got to be a good dad, good mum, good husband, good partner, good lover once in a while. Fucking hell. It's Kerry here today. He's not here. I think I just said that out loud. Did I just say that out loud? On stage in front of you lot. Don't judge me. I like to fly the flag for the slightly bigger man. I'm very cuddly, by the way. If anybody wants a cuddle, just come and see me. I'm as cuddly as a badger. Anyway, so look, things go bad at work, and that's okay. But like when you've got skills, your job is, even if you're having a bad time outside of work, when somebody does want to buy from you, it's important that you show up as a pro. Big driver for me is to create opportunities for my children. Here's another one. I love being with my family. My mum and dad have taught me so much. Oh, I could cry. My dad's not well. And I spend time with him. A lot. And that means a lot to me. And if you want to spend time with your family, you can. Just put it in the diary and do it. This drives me. Humans thriving in our mastermind program, in our trainings. When people come to our training centre, we're just looking to make you a tiny little bit better. Our purpose in business is to develop people. Here's another driver for me. What Nick and I have created is not my type, by the way. We call ourselves Pumber and Timon. Don't be rude. You lot. Which one do you think I am? I'm having a fat wardrobe at the moment. My nutritionist sacked me recently. He's a great guy, and I would have sacked me as well. Long story. I'm working on it. And hedgehogs, right? Come on, you lot. You ready? Have we got this on video somewhere? Right, sign of the hedgehog. You ready? Come on. And again. Come on. Again. Weirdos. Love it. Okay, hedgehogs, by the way, are struggling, so we just need to give them a little bit of love. All right, just bear in mind they're there, like a few logs. Don't give them milk, only water. Milk gives them indigestion. And feed them cat food, right? So, look, I get to be an ambassador for hedgehogs, animals, and these are the things that really drive me. And also, I am a teacher. I love to teach those that want to be taught. Like Russell Brunson said it yesterday in his amazing keynote. What I teach, human-to-human interaction, is critical right here, right now. You've never needed it more than that. At some point, you've got to come out from behind your computer, all right? So these are my drivers, other than just money. I love money. Raise both hands, kick your leg if you love money. Oh, I nearly fell over. Good. So, number 2, make sales in line with your values. So if you haven't got a set of values right now, like write things down that matter to you. And look, if you're dealing with somebody who gives you what we used to call the heebie-jeebies, you need to slice them. Because if you are chasing the money, you'll end up dealing with people that were not a good fit. And you'll get them over the line because you want the money, but they become a complete knob and nose down the line. Raise your hand if you've ever taken somebody on because you needed the money and they were a pain in the arse. Yeah, you were the problem, not them. Right? So Boise taught me that. So look, that was our small family business, and our values were to be small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Like, we're a small family business. We couldn't compete with Topps Tiles, so we didn't try to. What we could do is offer an amazing service. What we could do is be easy to buy from. What we could do is be known as the company that creates an amazing experience and service and add value other than the money. All right? So, look, you know that Expert Empires, Elite Closing Academy, we have 7 core values. They're called LAG, DABs. And where they're really helpful in sales conversations is, number 1, it's a intention and it is a public declaration when somebody moves towards you. Hey, me and my team are highly skilled, trained human beings. By the way, that alone gets rid of time wasters. It just does. Like when another human being realizes that you can hold your own in a nice way, soft spiritual energy, equilibrium, respectfulness, they instantly stop doing shitty things like asking for discounts and discounts and discounts. They just respect you more. Here's the reason why. You might want to write it down. The word is called authority. When somebody realizes they're dealing with an authority, equilibrium, then everything changes. Here's another reason why these are so powerful. Like, if you have somebody in your pipeline that says, hey, I'd love to work with you, but it's not the right time, ring me in a month, and you go, okay, I'll ring you in a month, see you later, guess what happens? Starts with F. Don't swear at me. You're not allowed to swear. Jeff Mass in the room. Fuck all. Or you could be dynamic and daring and say, I will ring you in a month, but maybe it might be better if I said I won't. And imagine I did ring you in a month, just so I'm clear, because I don't want to be a pain in the arse. What question would I need to ask you that day for you to drop everything and make this a priority? Or I could just go away. That's dynamic and daring. So if you want better results, you have to change the way you operate, as long as it's aligned on values. So look, just remember, many of us have had a bad sales experience. Raise your hand if you had a bad sales experience. Right, so do the opposite of that. Create nice sales experiences. But nice doesn't mean pushover. Just get back to me if you're interested. Let me know. Like, it doesn't work if you operate like that, because no one's giving anybody who's flaky money. Just let me know. I'll leave it, thanks. Like, we buy with emotions. So if I sense that you're not going to be good with my money, I'll say, it sounds great. Pop it on an email. I'll have a think about it. And I move away from you. All right? So you don't have to be like this guy. You can be soft and powerful. You can be a humble striver. You can have amazing skills and have spiritual energy. You can be natural and at the same time effective. Number 3, make sure you have world-class communication skills. I've got 6 minutes. We need to go fast. Yes or yes? You should never ask that question. Yes or yes? Who's up for a skills test? Brilliant, one of you. So, look, the first thing you have to do with skills is measure. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. 10 is amazing, 0 is crap. Give yourself a score. You ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Question number 1. 10's amazing, 0's crap. What number would you give yourself when it comes to operating in powerful and purposeful energy? Just put your number down. Don't overthink it, quickly. Number 2, how effectively do you connect with the tone of the other human being and their energy? Write your number down. If you've got a team, write their number down. Number 3, how good are you at moving people to the logical next step at the end of the conversation? 10 is amazing, 0's rubbish. Number 4, how much do you connect with the truth, other people's hearts? 10 is you're always looking for the truth, 0 is you're always talking about money. Like 10 you connect, 0 you don't. Next one, asking powerful questions with outcomes in it, like progressive quality questions. Next one is, how purposeful are you? 10, you're all over it like a squid on a diver's mask. 0 is you're shit. Next one, how elegantly can you overcome and explore standard stores, objections and statements that people make, like, I can't afford it. It's a statement. 10 is you can continue the conversation and then explore what that really meant. 0 is you're like, oh, okay, I'll pop it on an email and let me know if you're interested. Bye. I don't want to be pushy. I actually do that really well, don't I? You want to see me in a dress? I look like Mrs. Doubtfire. The next one is, how comfortable are you at receiving or giving a no? No is a really powerful sentence. It's got a full stop at the end of it. How effectively do you find value other than the money? 10 is amazing, 0's rubbish. And the last one is, when the time comes and all you've got to do is exchange the contract. It's like putting a ring on it when you're getting married. Like, the dating's over, all you've got to do is put a ring on it, do your line thing, say yes, give her a snog and have a great day. Like, the close, how good are you at closing? 10 is amazing, 0 is you're scared. Right, quickly add your numbers up. You've got 4 seconds. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shout. Right, after 3, you're going to shout your numbers out. I've got hearing aids, so I can receive all information at the same time. After 3. Everybody got the number? Yes. I'll ask again. Everybody got the number? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Try it again. I didn't hear you all. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Amazing. The score doesn't matter. What matters is if you've got a score. Now, I'm going to give you 3 coaching questions to take home to increase your confidence. Coaching's the next thing you've got to make sure you do. The human being that looks to improve is the human being that improves. Raise your hand if you want to improve. Learn to be coached. Question number 1. What was great about your score? Write it down on your pad. You've got 3 seconds. What was great about it? 1, 2, 3. Next question. Now I know what's great about your score. What could you do more of or slightly differently? Don't keep pivoting when things are going well. More of or slightly differently. What could you do more of or slightly differently? And last one is this. Now I know what's going well. Now I know what you could do more of or slightly differently. What's the number 1 thing you could do even better right now? That's an amazing coaching question in the sales space. Got it? You lot are so quiet this morning. Have you got it? Yes. Beautiful. Number 4, check in with your beliefs. What you believe to be true really matters. So, just remember, what you tell yourself, your whole body will want to make yourself right. Stand up if you love being wrong. Oh, no one. Okay, cool. So, because we love to be right, if we tell ourselves, well, nobody can afford it, guess what? First thing we'll do is go, I'm so sorry to bother you. I appreciate it's probably more than you want to spend. You'll tell them what you're thinking, and they go, boop, boop, boop. This person thinks I can't afford it. Now you feel judged. Stand up if you love being judged by a stranger. No one. And now your emotional response kicks in. It's called the red flag system. And you say, sounds amazing. I can see the value. Pop it on an email. Smell you. Shouldn't have to tell you. See you. Don't want to be you. See you later. Anyway, I'm running out of time. So, when was the last time you checked your beliefs? Here's a mechanism for you. You've got to make sure that everything you believe to be true before you start is actually true. What if you were wrong? What if you're telling yourself things that are not true? And then operate from fear. Like, that's just not good. If you're the reason why people don't buy, it's time to change. Say the word change if you need to change. That was rubbish. Say it, change. Change. Go on, change. What now? I thought I looked quite good. Yes. So look, people say to me, what do you believe when you're selling? You're quite good at this. I only have one belief when somebody moves towards me, is that they must have had a motive. Because I don't rugby tackle people and try and close them. These are people moving towards me. They've shown an interest. They've downloaded something. They've seen a book. They've downloaded the PDF about the mastermind. They're coming to the 3-day. They've done something somewhere that demonstrates a micro commitment. So all I do is I go, my belief is you've got a motive. So all I have to do is find out and understand what led them to move towards us in the first place. Go there first. That's my only belief. I don't know how much money they've got. I've never seen the bank statements. I don't know whether they can or they can't, or whether they've got time or not. I don't know any of that stuff, but what I do know to be true is they had a reason, and my only job is to find out their reason. If they're willing to give it, and if they're not, they can go away. And if they do have one, I'm going to explore why that was their reason. That's your job when you're selling. Gee whiz. So, I've run out of time, so I'm going to go fast, right? 3 things you've got to do every day. Ask yourself this. What assumptions might I be making that are unhelpful? An assumption is something that you believe to be true that cannot be proven. Here's another one. What presumptions might I be making that are not helpful? A presumption is the same as assumption. The only thing is it's based on probability. Let me give an example. Now that we've got a new government, there's probably going to be an increase in taxes. That might be the case, but what if you're wrong? And which taxes? All taxes or just some? So you have to check. Here's another one. Which opinions of others should I totally disregard, including the news and loved ones? I used to think that my loved ones had my best interests at heart. Sorry, not sorry, they don't. They're trying to keep themselves safe. Be careful who you listen to. Here's another reason why you need good people around you who can call your bullshit out. So, here's a few. People in my industry are not buying at the moment. Nobody can afford it. Everyone I speak to is busy and not the right time. If you believe that to be true, you've got problems. Because there's another world, isn't there? Take each opportunity on an individual one-to-one basis, just in case their great nana who died from the Hebrides had left them £1 million. Raise your hand if you've got a side pot just in case you need it. Oh, no one wants to tell us. Jack, muscles, are you looking at this? There are plenty of people that can invest right now. Focus on the ones that can, not the ones that you think can't. Find the ones that are committed enough to make this a priority. Put your energy there. Here's some more. They think it's too expensive. Raise your hand if you ever had that. Even though you've never seen their bank statement. Stop judging what you think people have got without ever seeing any facts. And by the way, raise your hand if you lie to salespeople. They're not going to tell you even if they're minted. They'll think I'm being pushy. What if they don't want it? It was a great offer and I could still sweeten the deal. They would expect a professional salesperson that cares to follow them up. And last but not least, what if they want it? What if they do want it? What if you're wrong? Okay, last thing from me. You must have, if you want to have confidence, a framework or a process. I hope it's mine, but there are lots of great people out there that have got frameworks. Just make sure if you do invest in anything, the person that is going to teach you actually does it themselves. That's critical, in my opinion. So my framework, as you saw earlier, is called the Elite Closing Formula. Tomorrow we'll talk about it a lot more on day 3. And the bottom line is when you have a formula, it's a bit like having a recipe. My mum and daughter bake banana walnut loaf. Same recipe, different finish every time. And that's how sales is. It's a conversation between people, have a structure, and then allow your natural humanity, your kindness, your personality to shine through all the way through. All right? And the formula that we teach is these 5 cornerstones, really. Be confident at all stages, get your skills high, operate in the right mindset, form your words very clearly, because how people hear you creates a perception of what it'd be like to work with you. Make sure your skill set's really high. And last but not least, have a process. So my final thing before I go is firstly to say thank you. I'm going to be around, so if you want hugs when I've stopped sweating, come give me a hug. Talk to me. What I really want to know is what's the one strategy that you've heard from me today that you're actually going to take an action on that's critical. So remember, this is all about mindset. Confidence comes from within you. You get to create how confident you are. So you can create the results you want. Thank you, Jeff. And this is the final thing I want you all to say out loud with me, and I'd like you to stand up, please. So we're going to say in a second, I am personally responsible for the confident thought I choose to operate in. It's an affirmation, and the next time you feel yourself going into negativity, I want you to flip over into the positive, and your action will become more positive. That's called service. Are you ready? After 3, we're saying that I am. 1, 2, 3. I am personally responsible for the confident thought I choose to operate in. Expert Empires, I love you all. See you soon.